All right, our final unit of the year is La Comida, which means food. All right, so in your packet, on page 67, follow along, and I've listed lots of different foods on that page and on the back. You definitely don't need to know all of them. The ones that I have highlighted are the ones that you need to know for sure. Guarantee that you need to know those for the quiz and for your homework. The other ones are there in case you want to know them, in case you want to study more, in case you want to use them on your homework this week. All right, so los legumbres means vegetables. Might also see another word that means that, which is on the back side, but I'm going to use this one. And legumbres looks like the word legumes. And legumes usually refers to beans, but it's any vegetables in this category. So the ones that I want you to know, are los frijoles, which are beans, el maíz, which is corn, la papa, which is potato, la ensalada, which is salad, and el tomate, which is tomato. Now, out of those, I'm sure you've heard or seen these before. Frijoles, if you've ever eaten Mexican, I'm sure you've seen that on the menu at some point. Maize is, of course, Native Americans' word for corn, so it's very similar to that, maíz. Ensalada has the word salad in the middle of it, and tomato and tomate, only one letter off, so definitely a cognate. Make sure you don't write el papa with an accent over the last A, because that means dad. So la papa is potato. Again, the other ones, a lot of them are cognates. Bracol, cauliflower, those definitely are cognates, so you can always use those as well. All right, next category, los panes y granos, breads and grains. You need to know two words on this list. El pan, which is bread, really easy because you bake bread in a pan, or if you've ever eaten at Panera, they have breads. And el arroz, which is rice. And once again, if you've ever eaten at a Spanish or Mexican restaurant, you have probably seen arroz on the menu. Let's take a look at the second one down, el pan tostado. That's a good example of the small word noun and adjective. Tostado means toasted bread. So it's the bread toasted. And so notice they're all masculine, they're all singular. And there's a different word if you go down a little bit later. Tostada is grilled bread. Again, a little bit different than putting toast in a toaster. Las frutas, of course, means fruits. It's a cognate. There's lots of them on here, not because I need you to know more foods because we eat more fruits, but because you can use these for drinks, you can use these for desserts, you can use these in other circumstances. So combining this with other words, you can come up with lots of new foods. So you need to know la cereza, which is cherry. El coco is coconut, definitely a cognate, you can remember that one. La fresa is strawberry. La manzana is apple. La naranja is orange. And remember, the adjective for orange was anaranjada, so it looks similar. And la piña is pineapple, which, if you've ever heard of piña colada, it's a pineapple flavored drink. So these other words on there, again, you may see them, el plátano or la banana. Both are acceptable words. Las uvas, you might see grapes, especially, if you have grape juice later on, which we'll talk about. All right, los carnes, pescados y mariscos, meats, fish, and seafood. So on here, you need to know el roast beef, which is roast beef. It sounds like what it is. El jamón, remember J's sound like H's, so it does kind of sound like ham, jamón. El pollo is chicken, and you might have heard of that word before. La hamburguesa, which is a hamburger, it's a cognate, easy enough to remember. El pescado is fish, and los huevos are eggs. Now, there are other words on here too that are similar to things that you've seen. El salmón, el atún, el omelette. Those are pretty easy, or beefsteak. So those are cognates, or at least sound-alikes. But I just need you to know those 6 words for sure. All right, you need to know all of the milk products, los productos de leche. You need to know la leche, which is milk. You need to make sure you remember that that's a masculine, feminine exception. El queso, which is cheese. I'm sure most of you have heard of that, maybe even used that word before. And el helado, which is ice cream. And I always just think that that word sounds like a lot of. And of course, who doesn't want to eat helado ice cream? So a lot of ice cream. In the otras comidas category, you need to know all of those. La torta is cake. Las pastas are cookies. And la pizza is pizza. Now, the unusual thing about the word for pizza is that it does have double Z's because it's an Italian borrowed word. So make sure you spell it correctly. All right, las bebidas. Bebidas means drink, so it comes from the verb beber. You need to know all of these. La cerveza is beer. Not because you would drink that, obviously, but because that would be a common food, especially in Mexico more so than Spain. Cerveza and cereza, don't get those 2 words mixed up. Cerveza is beer, cereza is cherry. El café means coffee. It also can mean cafe, it can also mean brown, but when you make it a noun, el café, they know that you're referring to coffee. And again, coffee is brown, so that makes sense. El jugo is juice. And again, it's a cognate. It's definitely close, at least the first couple of letters. El refresco is pop or soda, whatever word you use for it. El agua we've used before, as in me permite tomar agua. And again, it's a masculine, feminine exception. And el vino is wine. And again, not because you would drink that now, but if you were in Spain, for example, very popular, or you're in Chile, they have some of the best wines in the world. The way I remember that is wine comes from grapes that are grown on a vine, vino. Now, you can also combine words. So if I wanted to say apple juice, you're literally saying the juice of apple. So el jugo de manzana. And again, that's literally juice that comes from the apple, de manzana. So el jugo de manzana. But if I have red wine, it's el vino rojo, because that's an adjective to describe the wine. You don't get wine from red. You might get it from red grapes, but not from red. So therein lies the difference. El jugo de manzana and el vino rojo. All right, so let's think again what verbs might be useful during this unit. So we have to eat, which is comer. We have to drink, which is beber. We have to eat lunch, almorzar, and it's a stem-changing verb. To make, hacer, it's an irregular in the yo form. To have, when you're hungry and thirsty, remember that's tener hambre, tener sed. To want, querer, and that's a stem changer. To buy or to sell, comprar or vender. To prepare, preparar, and those last 2 are regular verbs. And to cook, cocinar. All right, if you go ahead and turn to the next page, go ahead and try to figure out these questions and answer them. And again, you'll see like 2 and 3 are similar, but they're not quite the same question. 4 and 5 are similar, but they're not quite the same question. 6 and 7 are similar, but not the same question. So pause the video, answer those questions, and then start the video again to reveal the answers. All right, number 1, si tú tienes hambre, ¿qué quieres comer? That's saying, if you are hungry, what do you want to eat? So I'm asking, what do you want to eat, not what do you eat, and that's a little bit different. Okay? Yo quiero comer, and then you fill in the blank with the foods that you would want to eat. I want to eat, and then, apples and steak or whatever it is that you want. Number 2, en la mañana, ¿qué comes para desayuno? Yo como, and then give me the food or foods, para desayuno. Now, desayuno is kind of a new word. Desayuno, again, if you can relate it to en la mañana, in the morning, what do you eat for breakfast? So desayuno is the word for breakfast. If you don't eat anything, you would say yo no como nada para desayuno. Yo no como nada. I don't eat anything for breakfast. Hopefully you do. It's very important. Number 3 is slightly different. En la mañana, ¿qué quieres comer para desayuno? It's kind of like question number 1. It's saying, ¿qué quieres comer para desayuno? What I do eat for breakfast and what I want to eat are two different things. Okay, so this morning I had yo como un huevo para desayuno. So I had a scrambled egg for breakfast. But what do I want? Yo quiero comer un omelette y las fresas para desayuno. So I want to eat an omelet and maybe some strawberries. Number 4 and 5, again, al mediodía, at noon, ¿qué comes para almuerzo? Yo como, if you eat at school, your answer would be yo como pollo or el pollo para almuerzo. So almuerzo means lunch, the noun, not to eat lunch, just what do you eat for lunch? So yo como pollo or el pollo para almuerzo. But what do you want to eat? Okay, if you didn't have to eat the school food, what would you eat? So yo quiero comer un beefsteak para almuerzo. I would eat a steak for lunch. En la noche, ¿qué comes para cena? Again, at night, what do you eat for dinner? Cena comes from the verb cenar, to eat dinner. So again, you would answer it, yo como pizza para cena. Okay, I eat pizza for dinner. Number 7, en la noche, ¿qué quieres comer para cena? Again, you would say, yo quiero comer, and list the foods that you would love to have, that you want to have for dinner, but you don't normally get that. Please make sure you review those food vocabulary from the previous page for your vocab quiz over foods. Also, there are more foods or items related to food, like sugar or butter or cup or glass, words that you might use on the back. Again, those are there for your reference only and maybe for your use on the homework this week.